One of the things that you're going to start doing at the intermediate level that you haven't done before is being able to handle your dog. This can mean handling your dog on marks. Typically, novice trainers make the mistake of handling on marks too frequently. It's neat. All of a sudden, you have the ability to direct your dog right to where that bird fell. So the first sign of trouble, most novice handlers put a whistle on the dog and try to get him in there to pick up the bird. This can have some really bad effects. It can create a lot of popping. In other words, a dog running out, stopping, looking to you for direction instead of hunting the mark on his own. There's a balance to be struck here, though. There are times when you do want to handle on a mark. Typically, the rule of thumb is this. If a dog is completely out of the area of the fall, isn't going to make a recovery on his own, then it is time to help the dog out. On marks, if a dog is just lost, I want to have the bird boy help the dog as often as I can. Help coming from the bird boy out in the field encourages the dog and builds his confidence in his marking ability. Makes the dog a little reliant on the helper if it happens too much, but that's far better than the dog being reliant on the handler. If we are running marks where the dog is going to cheat a factor, in other words, he's going to try to get around a corner of cover or slip around a pond instead of going through it, then we do handle. Because that handle then becomes a correction to the dog. You are telling the dog, no, you go right down here, right where I sent you. And that correction has to come from the handler to be effective. You're the leader of the team. You've got to give that correction. So again, as a rule of thumb, on marks where the dog is simply lost or out of the area, help should come from the bird boy. On marks where the dog is clearly cheating a known factor, the handle has to come from you. Now, whether or not that handle is accompanied with collar pressure is a little bit of a judgment call. Most often, at this level, you probably don't want to use a lot of pressure on your marks. Simply use attrition. Dog goes down, cheats a factor, blow the whistle, handle the dog. If he refuses to take the cast, stop the dog immediately with another whistle and continue to handle and stop the dog until he takes your cast. If he continues to refuse, it may very well be that you need to go back to the yard and either review the swim by or the single tee in order to get that handling where you need it to be. Beating the dog up out in the field isn't always the best solution and can create some really bad behaviors when you get to a test.